Yes, Christodoulou here, 2019 European and National Aquathlon Champion in my age group. And today I'm going to talk about more mistakes and common mistakes from the previous video that people do in their training. Firstly guys, before I get on to mistakes that people make, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment on the videos and what you'd like to see in the future. So, on to the video. Firstly, we touched it on the last video and I'll leave the link from the previous video. So what I'm going to discuss is some more mistakes, 4 key mistakes that people make in their training. So firstly, stretching. I didn't cover this last time, but stretching is so important. Now I recommend stretching every day before and after training. So what do? So firstly, when I wake up in the morning, I have a routine, I stretch, I do my leg raises on the step to help my Achilles, and I do some dynamic stretches, and that sets me up for the day, and it makes me feel a bit looser, and I'm not waking up, or I'm not stiff, and I don't wake up stiff, because the other thing is I also stretch every night before I go to bed. So I stretch every night before I go to bed. That also allows me to be fully stretched and recover as well from sessions I've done. So I do that on a daily basis, and that's my routine. However, it's also very important as well to stretch before, not majorly before sessions, but as long as you do some stretching before sessions, and it is very important to stretch after sessions. Because your muscles are sore, your body's full of lactic acid, and you basically need to stretch the muscle because they get tighter, and you don't want to like cause an injury or anything. So it's important that you do stretch afterwards, after training. So and after a session. So that's the first one, stretching. So the second one is a key mistake that people make is not drinking enough water. I hear it all the time. People talk about they have problems with their legs when they're running, or they get pins and needles, or they get cramps, or they're struggling, or they feel nausea when they're out running or when they're training. It's important that you do drink a lot of water, and I drink a hell of a lot of water, so a lot. And the only downfall is that I am going to the toilet a lot. But you're hydrated, and most of your body is made up of water, so it's important that you do keep hydrated. So with hydration, you can test to see how you are hydrated. So for example, there's things online you can have a look, and like if your urine is like pale, then that's you're rehydrated, and that's enough. And if it's really dark colour, then you're dehydrated. So what do you do with that into like a race? So every morning when I wake up or in my training, I will drink a lot of water and rehydrate before I do any session. I'm not talking about bloating yourself so you're bloated, and just enough so you'll rehydrate, because you get dehydrated overnight before you start any training sessions. Because in the early days I didn't drink a lot of water, and I had a lot of injuries because of it, and muscle cramps for example. So I drink a lot, even on race day. I'm sipping water all the way up to the race, and I'm not talking about like drinking like gallons of it. I'm talking about enough just to be rehydrated. You sort of get used to it. So that's a mistake that people make, and it's very important that you do that in your training. Thirdly guys, I'm going to talk about nutrition in training, and I'm going to quickly touch on it about during your races as well. So with your training, mistakes that people make is that they overeat too much and then they go out and train and they're struggling because they feel bloated or they feel a bit sluggish. So normally with training, if you've only got a small like time scale, so you've got an hour before you got to run and you need to eat or get something in, just something small, something light, something like banana will help, or just a Weetabix or something like that, just before. But if you've got like 2 hours, a little bit more, you can have more of a meal, and that helps you a lot. So I wouldn't recommend going out and having a big meal and then an hour later going for like a hard session or run. You might be sick as a result of it, and always think that you should have at least 2 to 3 hours before you train from what you've eaten. And that could be hard if you've got to get up in the morning and you want to go out for a run. Some people don't eat when they go out for a run, as long as it's not, if it's not too long. If it is a longer run, maybe take something with you just in case. So if you do run out of energy, you've got something there. So with early morning, so for example, when I wake up, I always wait an hour, so I have 3 Weetabix. For me, that's quite light, and normally go out for a run about an hour or an hour and a half after I've eaten. Now, with I'll quickly talk about races. Now, the problem people make mistakes with is they train with the normal foods and they have a routine regularly, but then when it comes to race day, they pig out the night before, thinking they're going to get a lot of energies. Well, actually, that works the other way around. It actually gives you, makes you bloated, and it will make you sluggish, and you'll be heavy as well. You feel a lot heavy, and you've overeaten. So with like race nutrition, don't change anything up on a day. Keep everything the same. So for me, I've mentioned before that I have Weetabix every day. So I won't change that in the morning. I won't change that on race day. That'd be Weetabix that morning. So for the race, and even in the evening, I'll have something I normally eat. So it could be like pizza, pasta, something I'm used to, ready for the race. Nothing that's going to upset my stomach, and nothing too heavy. But the other thing is as well is you want to, with a race, you want to, and I'll touch more about this on another video, but what you want to do is you want to be able to increase your food intake, say during the week, and then bring it back down slightly towards the end of the week, so you've got that energy ready for the race. So that's nutrition. So that's a mistake that people make, is that they just eat too much, or they before train, or too soon, and then they go out and they feel bloated and they struggle, then they're sick, for example. So just leaving an extra like hour, or just being a bit like more just being a bit more looking at your food, and just like thinking whether I should have that because it might be too much, and just being more aware of it. So lastly, I'm going to talk about new run trainers. So this is a big mistake that people make. First thing is you get excited, you get the run trainers, a new pair of shoes come in through the post, or you're going to pick them up and you can't wait to use them. Like me, yes, I can't wait to use them. But the common mistake people make is they put them on, they go out the door, and they go out for a run or a long run. You're going to get injured. That's the problem. Although you've been running and you've done all the strength work stuff, you will get injuries from going out and not wearing your shoes in. So it's just best to be safe. So what I do is that when I get a new pair of trainers, is that I spend the day just walking around with them in the house because they're clean, just so your feet get used to them. Obviously, it's not like running, but at least it's sort of moulding into your soles. So I do that, and then I will go out and I'll take them out on a short, easy run before I do anything major, like a few days later or something. And again, I'll keep wearing them in the house. And then following week, for example, I'll test them out in the speed session, and then I'll do a long run with them. And for me, that kept me injury free or minimal injuries, and that will help you, because a lot of people come back and they say to me, oh, I've got these new pair of trainers, but my calf's gone, my leg's gone, I'm not sure why, they're brand new, and the problem is they're brand new and you haven't worn them inside just to be moulded, because they're not to your foot shape. So just them little things, just even if you go out for like a mile jog with them, but don't do anything like heavy with them for a few days. Just wear them in, and then yeah, go out and enjoy them, and they'll be fine. So there are 4 mistakes that people, another 4 common mistakes that people make. So that this video and the last video are the common mistakes that people make. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you like my videos, and I hope you like this. Please leave a comment. Have you had any problems previously from this, from these mistakes, and how have you learned? Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.
And the champions of this age group category, Henrietta Parasapic and Yiannis Christodoulou, Christodoulou.